You're not broke because you don't make enough money. You're broke because somewhere, quietly, invisibly, you made a decision. Or maybe 7 of them. And here's the part that should make your stomach drop: most of these decisions don't feel like mistakes when you make them. They feel like survival. They feel like wisdom. They feel like what everyone around you is doing. That's the trap. I'm going to show you 7 of them today. And I need you to stay with me, because number 3 is the one that's been hiding in plain sight your entire life. The one nobody warned you about. The one your parents probably still do. Let's begin. Mistake number 1. Treating income like wealth. There was a man, let's call him Marcus. Marcus made $95,000 a year. His neighbors thought he was rich. His family used him as the example at Thanksgiving. He drove a BMW. He wore the right shoes. He had the job title on LinkedIn. Marcus had $400 in savings the month he lost his job. Income is not wealth. Income is the water flowing into a bathtub. Wealth is how much stays in the tub. And if the drain is wide open, with lifestyle inflation, with monthly subscriptions you forgot you had, with the car payment that felt affordable on day one, doesn't matter how fast the water flows in. The first mistake is measuring your financial health by your paycheck. The number that actually matters, the only number, is the distance between what comes in and what quietly bleeds out every month. That gap is your financial life. What is your gap right now? Write it down. Don't estimate. Actually look. Mistake number 2. Borrowing from your future self and never paying it back. Credit was designed to be elegant. And it is. It's one of the most beautiful psychological traps ever constructed. Here's what it whispers to you. You deserve this now. Future you will handle it. Future you is stronger. Future you has a raise. Future you figured it out. But future you wakes up every morning and they are still just you. With the same habits. And now a bill. The average American carries over $6,000 in credit card debt, at an average interest rate of 22%. That means for every $100 you borrow, you pay $22 per year just for the privilege of having borrowed it. Not toward what you owe. Just for the asking. You are being charged rent on your own desperation. And the painful truth? The purchases that created that debt, most of them, you can't even remember. You can't point to them and say worth it. They dissolved into ordinary life. But the interest is still here. Still reporting for duty, every single month. Borrowing from your future self is only acceptable if you have a signed agreement with that future self, an actual plan, a date, a strategy that says, here's exactly how I pay this back. Otherwise, you're not borrowing. You're just, slowly, eating yourself. Mistake number 3. And this is the one. Of all the financial mistakes that humans make, across generations, across cultures, across income levels, this one might be the most universal. The most devastating. And the most desperately avoided. It's not a math problem. It's not a budgeting problem. It's the conversation about money that you have never had. With your partner. With yourself. With the mirror. You know something is wrong. Some part of you has known for months, maybe years. There's a number you're afraid to look at. A decision you made 3 years ago that you've never spoken out loud. A pattern you see in yourself that you hope, desperately, quietly hope, will just fix itself. It won't. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that money is the leading source of stress in relationships, surpassing parenting, work, and health. And yet surveys consistently show that couples avoid talking about money more than any other topic. Why? Because money is never just money. Money is shame. Money is your childhood. Money is the version of yourself you swore you'd never become. Money is the argument your parents had in the room you were pretending to sleep through. The financial behavior you have right now, the avoidance, the impulse spending, the hoarding, the shame buying, the generosity beyond your means, almost none of it was chosen consciously. It was learned. It was absorbed. It settled into you the way cold settles into a house with bad insulation. And the only way to change a behavior you never consciously chose, is to have the conversation you've been deliberately, expertly, successfully avoiding. With your partner, tonight. Not after the holidays. Not when things calm down. Tonight. With a financial advisor. Not when you have enough to talk about. Now. Especially now. With yourself, open, honest, brutal. What do I actually believe about money? Where did I learn that? Is it true? The conversation is the investment. The conversation is the work. Everything else, the budgets, the apps, the spreadsheets, they only function if you've had the conversation first. Stop waiting for a better time to talk about the thing that is quietly running your life. I'll say that one more time, slowly. Stop waiting for a better time to talk about the thing that is quietly running your life. Mistake number 4. Optimizing for comfort, not freedom. Comfort is the enemy disguised as the reward. It comes at the perfect moment, right when you've worked hard, right when you deserve it, right when you've earned it, and it says, stay here. You've arrived. Rest. And then one day you realize you have optimized your entire financial life around maintaining a level of comfort, and that comfort now requires your full income to sustain it. You are not building toward freedom. You are treading water in a very comfortable pool. There's a difference between a comfortable life and a free life. A comfortable life requires your presence, your income, your compliance, your continued participation. A free life does not. A free life continues whether you show up or not. The question isn't, am I comfortable? The question is, could I survive, for 6 months, if every income source I currently have vanished tomorrow? Most people, even those with good incomes, even those who feel stable, the answer is no. Comfort is not the destination. Comfort is the sedative they give you to keep you from asking for the destination. Mistake number 5. Confusing financial activity with financial progress. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You've read the books. You've listened to the podcasts. You have a budgeting app with color-coded categories. You know what dollar cost averaging is. You've mentioned index funds at a dinner party. You've nodded confidently when someone said compound interest. And your net worth has not moved in 2 years. Learning about money is not the same as doing something with money. Talking about money is not the same as managing money. Feeling financially aware is not the same as being financially healthy. This is one of the most sophisticated traps your brain sets for you, because learning feels productive. Listening to a finance podcast during your commute feels like progress. It activates the same satisfaction as action, without requiring any of the discomfort. But here's the ruthless truth: the market does not care about your financial literacy. Your landlord does not care about your podcast queue. Compound interest only works on money that is actually invested. Knowledge without execution is just expensive entertainment. What is one thing you know you should be doing, financially, that you have not done? Not because you lack information, because you haven't done it. That thing. Do that thing. This week. Before the next podcast. Mistake number 6. Inheriting a poverty mindset without realizing it. Your grandparents survived something. Maybe a depression. Maybe a war. Maybe migration. Maybe seasons with nothing. And they developed beliefs about money that kept them alive. Beliefs like, never trust banks. Keep cash hidden. Don't invest what you can't afford to lose. Rich people are corrupt. Wanting more is selfish. These beliefs were not wrong. They were correct, for the world those people lived in. They were rational responses to real danger. But you inherited those beliefs, like furniture passed down through a family, and you installed them in a world that no longer requires them. You are carrying furniture that was built for a house that no longer exists. When you believe, somewhere deep, that investing is gambling for rich people, that's not wisdom. That's an heirloom. When you believe that talking about wanting more money is greedy, that's not virtue. That's a story someone told, in pain, long before you were born. Honoring your family does not mean adopting every belief they carried. Sometimes the most profound act of love for the people who came before you is to be free in the way they never got to be. Let that sit. Mistake number 7. Waiting for permission. Nobody is coming. There is no moment where the universe hands you a certificate that says, now you are ready. Now you have earned the right to build wealth. Now you have enough permission to take your financial life seriously. That moment doesn't exist. It has never existed. It will never exist. And every year you spend waiting for it, every month you say when things settle down, every week you say I'll start when I make more, is a year of compound interest that you will never get back. The cruelest math in personal finance is this: the years you lose in your 20s and 30s are not recoverable in your 40s and 50s. Not because you can't build wealth later, you can. But because compound interest is exponential, not linear. Every year earlier is not slightly better. It is dramatically, profoundly, categorically better. A 25-year-old who invests $300 a month, just $300, at a 7% average return, for 40 years, will retire with over $790,000. Not because they were rich. Not because they had advantages. Because they started. A 35-year-old who does the same thing arrives at 65 with roughly $370,000. Same discipline. Same amount. 10 years later. That 10-year gap cost $420,000. You are not waiting for the right time. You are buying the right time with your future. 7 mistakes. None of them exotic. None of them requiring genius to fix. All of them, every single one, fixable. By you. Now. Without a perfect credit score, without a high income, without the financial education you wish you'd been given. But only if you decide, today, not tomorrow, not after you finish this video, that you are done inheriting a story about money that was never really yours. There will be people who watch this and feel a cold flash of recognition, who see themselves in one of these 7 things, maybe in all of them, and who will close this tab and go back to the same patterns, because the recognition is painful, and pain is easier to run from than to sit with. And there will be a smaller group, maybe you, who sit with that discomfort, who let it burn a little, who write something down, who send one text, who open one account, who have one conversation tonight that they've been postponing for 3 years. Wealth is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in ordinary ones. In the Tuesday evening when you chose to look at your account instead of away from it. In the Saturday morning when you had the hard conversation over coffee. In the quiet discipline of a decision that nobody applauds, that nobody sees, that compounds, silently, faithfully, without fanfare, into a life that you chose. You don't need more money to start. You need more honesty. Start there. I'll see you in the next one.